And to discuss the international perspective on this development, we're joined live from Genoa, Italy, by Mr. Mark William Lowe, a geopolitical and corporate risk management expert. Hello there, Mark, and thank you for agreeing to be with us tonight.
Good evening. Absolutely my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you indeed. My first question goes like this, Mr. Mark. From an international standpoint, how significant is this project for Algeria's economic positioning?
I think it's a very valid question because it does highlight something very, very important. The end of the day, this is not a railway project. The railway infrastructure that has been created in record time, huge investments, the requirement to build a railway in one of the world's most hostile environments is quite amazing. But this is the infrastructure aspect. What is very, very important and what has been noticed perhaps more silently, is the fact that more than a railway project, this is a statement of intent. This is the convergence between political and economic will, political and economic vision. So this is infrastructure that will allow Algeria to achieve a part of its industrial sovereignty. This is a marvelous example of basically converting geology into an industrial engine. This is a project that will allow Algeria to become independent in terms of producing steel, something that's very, very, very important. From an international perspective, everybody's looking at this project, but I repeat, the project isn't being looked at so much in terms of an incredible infrastructure project. It's being looked at and examined in terms of having the courage and having the vision to build something that will benefit the Algerian economy in a number of different manners. So that said, it's a very, very significant project indeed. It's one that will not only link a very, very remote part of the country to the capital cities and the major cities and the industrial cities, and therefore bring greater stability to an area that is very, very remote. But it's also a project that will be fundamental to Algeria's economic development policies and strategies. This has not passed unnoticed. And I speak from a European perspective. It's rather embarrassing for Europe from a certain point of view, because an example has been set. When there is the courage and the will to do something that is frankly quite miraculous, this is an incredible piece of infrastructure, then you set a lesson. You demonstrate what is actually possible to do when the will is actually there.
And if we speak about such projects in general, how do they actually fit into today's global iron ore and supply chain dynamics, and how could Algeria contribute?
Well, at the end of the day, this is not going to be a massive disruptor to steel production. That's something that, for example, Europe worried about, but in reality does not have to worry about at all. This is not a project or an ambition that's going to have a massive impact on existing realities, because this is a project that will allow Algeria to diversify the economy, but more importantly, to become sufficient in the production of steel. When you produce steel, there's a lot of things that you can do. You're no longer dependent on the supply of foreign steel. You are no longer at the risk of fluctuations in the market. You've achieved, in part, industrial sovereignty, which is very, very important. So this will not, in my opinion, be a disruptor to global iron or steel supply. Quite the opposite. This is a project that will jumpstart the steel industry in Algeria massively. And this will bring a series of very, very important benefits to the country and the region in general, because, I repeat, This is a project that is a case study. It shows that if the will is there and the capability to form a consortium comprised of stakeholders from diverse nations, when that capability is there, you can quite literally create miracles. And this railway infrastructure is nothing short of a miracle. It's quite incredible to think that it was built so quickly and so efficiently in one of the world's most hostile environments. But that said, the great importance is bringing Algeria to a point where, in terms of steel production, you have, not quite yet, but very, very shortly, you will have realized, you will have created a certain form of industrial sovereignty. And this is something that is being very closely monitored.
And what does this say to investors and international investment in general? What kind of message does it send?
Oh, that's very, very easy to reply to. This sends a very, very positive message because this project is a long-term project. A long-term project, by definition, is the equivalent of stability, the equivalent of vision, the equivalent of being able to look into the future, plan for the future, and create that which is necessary to industrial futures, basically. So the message that is sent is that in Algeria, there is a very, very solid basis for investment. This is a message that is quite simply that of saying we have stability, and this stability allows us to make long-term plans, and investors are looking for exactly that.
And so do you think that this might change how Algeria is viewed in terms of strategic autonomy and economic resilience? And maybe could this infrastructure also reshape regional trade across North and West Africa?
Most absolutely, yes. This is an absolutely major project, but it's part. Now, the interesting thing here is the convergence between political will and industrial necessity, and therefore the foresight and the courage to sign up to and develop such an important project. This is not the building of a bridge. This is not about simply resolving a problem somewhere. This is a project that opens up enormous opportunities. It's a project that is something of a case study that allows other nations in the region to say, if this can be done, then almost anything can be done. But we go back to the concept of stability and the convergence between political will and industrial ambitions, all of which is absolutely fundamental to the development of the Algerian economy. So it is something that is viewed very, very favorably, and does absolutely set an example to others in the region.
Thank you indeed, Mr. Mark William Lowe. I remind our viewers that you are an international geopolitical and corporate risk management expert. Thank you indeed for your contribution and for your time.
Thank you very much.